right, I thought it'd be fun to compare New Hampshire to Tennessee in terms of where you're going to retire. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to compare cost of living with income tax, sales tax, property tax. We're going to look at some houses using Realtor.com, a 3-bed, 2.5 bath on a half acre is what we're going to shoot for. We'll look at electricity costs in terms of kilowatt hours. Now, I don't know how much the oil costs in New Hampshire, or I guess we could find out on electricity if you have air conditioning in Tennessee. The reason I want to do these two states is because New Hampshire is part of the Free State Project, which means they're trying to recruit people, libertarian-minded people, freedom-loving people to move to New Hampshire. And I think that's pretty cool. The drawback is those people, while they're doing it, you got a lot of money that's coming in from Massachusetts, similar to Maine as well, and they're taking over the coastal areas of New Hampshire because there's no state income tax and there's no sales tax. And so because of that, people who are dealing with a state income tax, a sales tax, and an estate tax in New Massachusetts are like, screw that, let's move up to New Hampshire. And a lot of them are taking their politics too. So the Free State Project, I love it. I don't know if they're not going to be dwarfed by the Massachusetts people taking over, which has happened in Maine too, by the way. But be it as it may, the live free or die state is still live free or die. Has a pretty conservative governor, Sununu, if memory serves, two pretty liberal senators, and I don't know what their congressional delegation is. I imagine they're probably lefty too. In fact, I know one of the congresswomen is, but I don't know about their state reps. I don't know, and so my inclination is New Hampshire is still favorable towards guns. Favorable, obviously no income tax. Who knows how long that's going to stay. It just seems like it's always just sitting right there on the tip of the iceberg, about ready to break and then just go down the drain. But right now, it's still the free estate by and large in the New England area for sure. Even though I think Maine's a close second. In fact, Maine is freer in some regard. All right, but then we've got Tennessee. Now, the drawback about Tennessee is it's landlocked, but Tennessee's got no state income tax, a low property tax, a high sales tax, so that's for sure. And Tennessee's still considered a rural, for the most part, state. Now, they do have this influx of people moving in from the north, New York, Massachusetts, Maine, and stuff like that coming down there. Pennsylvania moving in and unfortunately probably bringing their politics. And Nashville is already a liberal state. Nashville is very liberal. People don't understand how liberal Nashville is. They think Tennessee, they think country music's got to be right wing. Nothing could be further from the truth. Nashville is very far left. But anyway, so could that dominate the overall state of Tennessee, similar to some of these other states like Northern Virginia has dominated the state of Virginia? Maybe. But I think Tennessee is going to remain freer longer than New Hampshire for sure. But anything could change. So I thought it'd be interesting to compare the two because a lot of us on the libertarian right have been saying let's make Tennessee the southern free state project for folks who want to escape from the cold of the north. But believe it or not, I've had a number of people reach out to me on the YouTube channel saying they're trying to move back north because the heat and humidity of Florida and South Carolina and whatnot are just killing them. So they're saying, but I don't want to live in a liberal Mecca. So they're like, where else do we go? So let's just take a gander. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at smartasset.com, and we're going to say, okay, the first thing I do, I just went to my website, heritagewealthplanning.com, go to the tax tools, the interactive tax page, and it brings us here to smartasset.com. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we live in Tennessee. We got $20,000 of Social Security, $40,000 of IRA distributions. That's $5,000 a month in income. What kind of tax are we going to pay in Tennessee? Well, we're going to pay nothing to the state of Tennessee. But with that kind of income on both states, Tennessee and New Hampshire, we're going to pay $2,750 to the feds. But if we switch that around to $40,000 of Social Security income and $20,000 of IRA distributions, Charlotte and I would pay no federal income tax. So there you go. That's, again, Social Security is the way to do this. Can you live off $5,000 a month? I doggone know you can, because you're not paying taxes. You're not paying FICA. Hopefully your mortgage is paid, and the median household income in the U.S. right now is about $63,000. So I know you can live on $60,000 a year, $5,000 a month in either of these two states. I know that for a fact. All right. Now, what the drawback about Tennessee, of course, is the sales tax. So the sales tax is right here. right here. Sales tax is the second highest in the U.S. is about 9.5%. The property tax is quite low though. The property tax is, if we look at right here, is about 0.74%, which is pretty sweet. So if you look at property tax in Tennessee, we got Chattanooga, and I found a house at $280,000, which we'll share with you here in just a second. It's going to cost you 0.75, so it's going to be roughly about $2,000 in property taxes in Tennessee. Now, so that's pretty good. Now, if you look at the same in New Hampshire, and we're going to look at it's going to be more expensive for a home in New Hampshire. No two ways around that. And what did I say for the zip code I wanted here? We're looking at 03037, 03037. I don't know what this 03037. I don't know what this town is. Deerfield. We can look it up a little bit. On a $280,000 home, it cost about $6,000 in property tax. So property tax in New Hampshire about 2.1%. Property tax in Tennessee is about 0.75. But there is no sales tax. No sales tax in New Hampshire, where there is one in Tennessee. So the question is, you're paying significantly less in New Hampshire, significantly more in property tax in New Hampshire, on $4,000 more a year in property tax. Are you saving that in sales tax? I just don't know. But let's just say I don't know if you're paying that, saving that property tax. My inclination is probably not. You're probably paying more in New Hampshire. But anyway, so that's interesting. So now let's go to the house. I started looking around at properties. I just did a map. I said, look, Stratham, New Hampshire. I'm kind of familiar with that town. I couldn't find that much in Stratham. I don't know why, but so I said, let's go out into the boondocks a little bit, which is I'm okay with. So here's a town called Deerfield. I literally don't know anything about Deerfield, but as I said, all right, well, here's a house for $289,000. Let's take it out because I'm trying to compare the two. Where was I just at here? Hold on just a second. Oops. Where was that? No, I don't know what happened to the one I just had for $289,000 in Deerfield. Did I have some for Deerfield? I thought I did. All right. Well, anyway. All right, so let's go to 319. All right, I don't know what that was. So yeah, here it is, 339. That's what we did. We saw this one right here, 339 in Deerfield. Let's go back. It was 339 is what it was. So we'll just say 340 and was some place called Deerfield, New Hampshire, and the property tax is $7,000 there. All right, so we have to pay a higher property tax on a higher property. It's going to be 340 as opposed to 280 in Tennessee. And I'll share with you the Tennessee one for 280. All right, it's called Rockingham County is where we're going to be here. Don't know anything about this town, but we're on 3 acres. Pretty cool. So what we'll do is we'll say they paid $485 in property tax. We'll see if that's the same thing that the people on Realtor say, or the people on they're talking about $582 here. So they're talking they have $5,820 according to Realtor, but we'll say it's $7,000. What are we looking for? Let's just take a gander at the house. Yeah, whatever. Nothing fancy there, but that does the job. Might need to update a little bit. Fireplace. Not sure what kind of range they got. We definitely want that's electric. Oh, I hate electric. So yeah, that looks all right. You know, they get the job done. I mean, obviously you have to do some search. Let's see what they got. A little shed. There you go. You're gonna need a shed. Got a place to garden. Nothing wrong with that. All right, cool. So that seems to do the job. I got no qualm with that. I'm not sure on Realtor if they show you what the heat costs and all that. I probably don't think so. Let's do a view from above. Look at the satellite. Yeah, so look at that big old space right there. That's fantastic. Right on. So now we'll hit the see what the crime is, and the crime. Well, I don't know what color that is. Is that? I can't tell. I can't imagine there's all that much crime here, but I just don't know. Go to the noise. They don't say anything about noise. Anyway, so that crime color is kind of weird. Is that right? I don't know what that is. All right, so can we do a street view? Oh, yeah, sweet. Oh, yeah, look at those green trees. That looks pretty good. All right, so there you go. It's a house kind of out in the woods a little bit, and that doesn't have any concern for me. And the nice thing about New Hampshire is such a small state, and if you look at the state, we got Durham, New Hampshire, right? That's where the University of New Hampshire is, which I think is just right up here someplace. Right up along these lines. And I saw Dover, New Hampshire is a pretty cool town too. So anyway, you got some cool stuff up there, and there's the main line. So you definitely could find a place for $300,000 in New Hampshire. Now what we want to do though is we want to go to, let me pause it real quick and look at Tennessee. Actually, let's go to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and do the same here. And you get a lot more opportunities in Chattanooga, and I think I found one. It's like 280 or something like that. Here it goes, 299, 3-bed, 2.5 baths. Looks like in a cul-de-sac here, or not a cul-de-sac, a subdivision. And let's see what the on a third of an acre. Nothing wrong with that. 235 in property tax. Look at that, man. So that's $3,000 in property tax. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm just doing a cursory look. So you got that. You go see, the house looks fine to me. If you can get in here and not have a lot cleaner than that one in New Hampshire. So you'd have to scour New Hampshire. I can't tell what kind of range they got there. Is that electric too? That's electric. Jeez Louise, does anyone not have electric range? You can't have that. That's freaking commie stuff there. All right, so let's see what we get. This looks like a clean looking house. I like it. Looks good. You can definitely retire there. I don't think that's big enough space for me, frankly. The backyard doesn't look that good, but nice views of the single mountain, I bet. I think that's what it's called. So nothing wrong with that. That's not getting the job done for me. I need a bigger backyard for sure. But there you go. So you have a house you can live in Tennessee. A heck of a lot cheaper in terms of property tax. But still, it's how much was this guy? $299. So you're going to spend $40,000 more in New Hampshire on a home, and this will be a little bit more urban because it's right in the city proper of Chattanooga, I think. Yeah, it's right in Chattanooga. So you have the Double-A minor league baseball team, the Chattanooga Lookouts, if they still play, which they do, but who knows. But you'll probably save a little bit of money in Tennessee because you're going to save about $40,000 on your home, and you're going to save about $4,000 or so on property tax. But then will you pay $4,000 in sales tax? I highly suspect you won't. All right, so let me pause it real quick. It's called electricitylocal.com, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to Tennessee, and then we're going to go to Chattanooga and see what their cost per, and given that they have the TVA, I would think it can't be very expensive, Chattanooga, but let's see. So Chattanooga kilowatt hour is 10 cents a kilowatt hour. That seems awful high to me. 10 cents a kilowatt hour, which is in Chattanooga is greater than Tennessee as a whole, which is 14.7% less than the national average. That seems high to me, but 10.13% kilowatt hour. And let's go to New Hampshire, and what was that place called? Deerfield? It's not even on here. So we'll just say Dover because it's close to that. And that's going to be, 16.2. Yeah, look at that. 32%, 37% higher than the national average. So New Hampshire is definitely going to be higher for electricity. It wasn't Portsmouth. Where's Durham? They don't even have Durham on here. I don't know that much around there. But anyway, let's look at Portsmouth. Oops. Yeah, so it's expensive in New Hampshire for electricity for sure, but that's why you definitely don't want to heat your home with electricity. That's nuts. Hopefully you got some kind, I'm sure they got firewood and some kind of oil. And you're not going to need as much in the summertime anyway because you don't need as much in terms of air conditioning as you would in Tennessee. But Tennessee's going to be cheaper, in my opinion. No way around that. But I don't think it's as cheap as what you'd expect relative to. I don't think I don't think it's that much more expensive. I think you can make a case it's more expensive. I would not say it's out of the park more expensive though, if that makes sense. So you have a rural area in New Hampshire, but New Hampshire is such a small state. Nothing's all that rural, and then you have other than whatever gets freaking snow and ice. And then you have a southern city in southern Tennessee, 200,000 people. And Chattanooga is fantastic. Both have hills. In New Hampshire, you got the White Mountains. In Tennessee, obviously, you got the Signal Mountain right there, and then you got the Smokies. Tennessee can go south to go to Georgia and get your stuff without paying the Tennessee sales tax. Ringgold, Dalton, whatnot. I'm sure lots of people do that, like people in Massachusetts and Maine do that up in New Hampshire, where they go to New Hampshire for no sales tax. But anyway, I thought it'd be kind of fun. Either way, the taxes, you can find a decent house, not get killed from a tax perspective. You're not going to get killed from an income tax perspective. The property tax in Tennessee is your bogeyman. The sales tax and the property tax in New Hampshire is your bogeyman. Sales tax in Tennessee is it, and then is what you're going to have to contend with. I would think that would lead more to Tennessee because you're going to consume less as you age. And then what else? And then the cost of electricity in New Hampshire is significantly higher than that of Tennessee for sure. So you just got to watch what you're doing there. Hell, throw some solar panels on there, but do you get enough sun? I probably doubt it. But all right, I thought you might find that fun. All right, if you like to see these kind of comparisons, let me know. I like to doing that. All right, we'll see you.